All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do All-Star Superman issue number 4. Still think All-Star Superman, one of the best Superman stories ever told. This is great. By Grant Morrison, Frank Quickly? I still don't know how you actually pronounce it. Anyway, this is with his pal Jimmy Olsen. And we start with Jimmy Olsen's place when he has a relationship with Lucy, and Lucy wants to break up with him because he's fed up with his shenanigans. And she says, I read in a paper that you are named the world dressed man in Metropolis for the second year running. Well, of course, Jimmy is making excuses, and she says, you know what, maybe I should go out with a guy called Rock Handsome, space pilot. He asked me to go with him to the opening of Frankenstein on ice. I'm seriously thinking about taking him on. Rock, handsome. I can't believe you're so shallow, Lucy. He says, this is outrageous. It's all because that gypsy cursed me with bad luck until the next full moon. Worst dressed. What are they talking about? I'm Jimmy Olsen. I look great. Why you are dressing up like a woman? Okay. Anyway, so Chief Perry is very pleased with his journalism because he is doing some kind of a segment. And he says that a lot of people hate him and other people love him. And he's doing a column, right? And the column is more like for a day, right? So he's doing some outrageous stuff for a day, including, I was down out in medieval England, or, like homeless Olympics or something like that. So now we see this globe here, but I believe this is some kind of a space in between places, more like a teleportation device or something that you go into and then you are somewhere next. So he has an appointment with the Man of Colors, or the coveted coat of Man of Colors, by this guy called Quinn, I believe. And he's the director of a company called P.R.O.J.E.C.T. So he's one of the smartest mans on the planet. He's a zillionaire or something like that. And he has an appointment with alien beings, right? And he's leaving Jimmy here in charge of the project for one day because I know he agreed with Jimmy to do this or something, because of the column stuff. And he says, I'm leaving this G-Man with you because he says, don't worry, I've this bodyguard, this Superman, right? The famous Superman signal watch. Let's hope you won't need that. Shield your eyes, Mr. Olsen, the electronic kind are tungsten gas life forms with a brittle glass exoskeleton. Their language is purely optical, and some sentences in its greetings might cause instant blindness. These shapes I'm making are equivalent of words of the world of the electro kind. I like this fantastical fake science. That's why I like the Fantastic Four comics, from the 80s so much, because it uses a lot of stuff that was real, like molecules and atoms, I was 7, by the way, I didn't know what that was, but it sounded all great with all these inventions. And this guy really reminds me a little bit about that, except that he's a zillionaire. Superman's rescued their lightship when crashing to Saturn's rings. So he says, I've been invited to the home planet. It's impossible to turn down an offer like that. He says, bon voyage, Mr. Q. So, for the next 24 hours, so he's recording, right? I'm walking in the shoes of the world's foremost eccentric zillionaire daredevil and leader of ultimate futurist think tank from Sea of Ingenuity on the dark side of the moon. Jimmy Olsen presents, I was project director for a day. So much for the gypsy curse. All right, so he's asking these workers, these G-men, they are being bred to do basically one thing, right? They are programmed, if you will, have an assigned designation, so they can only do one thing, and that's also good because there will be no confusion. And then he says, oh, what is this? So she says, please come away from there. And he says, come on, what's about the good stuff? You know, the forbidden machines, the black monstrosities, the things from other planets. If I'm in charge, I want to see cool stuff. So she says, no. So this is a very dangerous project. It can transform a soldier into an unstoppable killing machine. So we're not going to do that, right? Doomsday. See, that's the kind of excitement I need for my feature. So she says, hey, we're going to the outer boroughs. Time to check on the portal to the underverse. Cool. So they go to the underverse, and it seems that they are experimenting or finding or exploring the world of super heavy gravity, a newly discovered basement level hidden beneath the known structure of the universe. So, of course, something goes wrong, right? It seems that, things are breaking down because of the gravity. And then I wonder, why are you making this thin piece of metal that can break so much easy, right? And so this guy's gone, and she says, don't let go, you will crush 2 atoms. Remember to self, never mess with the queen of the gypsies. And he's using the Superman signal, right? Well, Clark is in the, office of Chief Perry, right? And he's praising Clark Kent of his old school journalism. But he's distracted. He said, hey, are you listening? May not dish out praise like this for another 100 years. So he remembers that he left the oven on at home. And I said, I need to go out, and I have a Luthor interview on your desk by Friday. Oh my, what? So he's flying, Superman rescuing the day, right? And but he also feels a little bit strange for a moment, just for a moment. So he says, I couldn't save your worker, but let me see if I can bring that to his discovery. So, and then some kind of a loud blaring noise goes through the speakers. Caution, super heavily unknown infrared materials have penetrated normal space. So this girl says, hey, Superman, you probably want to get away from that. And said, back away slowly from the object while we spin the gravity bottle to contain it. And it's been discovered that it's black kryptonite, a new isotope at the low frequency end of the key mineral spectrum. It seems we dug up a radioactive fragment of your homeworld that's been buried for years in the underverse. So say, hey, I don't like the look of this, says Jimmy. Kryptonite can kill you. But he became immune to kryptonite, because of what happened in the first couple of issues. He says, I'm fine. Are you? So he says, resolution, sorry. I'm glad to hear it. For a moment, I couldn't help thinking about, and then he scratched his Superman logo into this table. And then his tone changes. It's that signal watch. Like I don't have enough to do with bailing you out of some stupid scrape every other day. You'll be dead without me. He says, Superman, are you okay? It's just cheap moon-based furniture. Quantum's loaded anyway. Think about it. It's probably increased its sales value with my autograph. So he's standing up. I like this. This is how Superman boots should be drawn all the time. Like low cut from the calf and then on to the knees. I don't like the short cape though, but personal preference. More, I think Superman should always have a long cape. But okay, since the book is so good, I forgive it. Not that they care because this book is already out. Anyway, so Superman is annoyed, but he knows that he's in trouble. So he's said, "Oh man, it's getting worse. Everything's gone opposite." Jimmy, I know what Blake K does. It makes me bad. And you know what? Part of me is starting to like that idea. I like this shot that he's going evil with this big chin. Just like he's in some kind of a transformation, turning into a werewolf, but that's not the case. But that's how I see it with his body language. Okay, so Superman is trying to fight it. He says, Jimmy, I need your help. Earth, look at them, swarming little futile bugs in the sun. Who's going to stop me from doing anything I want, Jimmy Olsen? You? I like the laugh. But yeah, since this is on the moon, the gravity is going haywire. He says, Project Red Emergency. So it seems in a case of Superman going bad, this project or this company has a anti-Superman weapons created just in case. Look at this. So I thought, at least in the beginning, I didn't see it very well. Maybe it was how to say rockets, but it's just humanoids, not human beings, because these are. And well, I'm coming back to that a little later. And also a Phantom Zone cannon that's been, I don't know, in orbit, disguised. The Phantom Zone, but that's a no exit right to oblivion, he says. What choice do we have faced with an evil Superman? He could crack the earth in half, he could enslave humanity. He says, no, we're not gonna do that. What about the third weapon? It's Doomsday, right? So these guys are trying to tackle Superman, but Superman's just too strong. Our Voyager Titans and Bizarro clones have failed to stop him. Prepare for teleport Director Olsen. He also crashes the Daily Planet. What's it called? Orb? Globe, probably. Yeah. So, but also the way he talks changes. So Jimmy is here. He has some kind of a needle weapon. And Superman is, using his heat vision. See, what is it with you? Director Olsen, this is Agatha. After initial testing, it was decided that Doomsday was too unstable, too dangerous to be used under any circumstances. You and they point dumb gun at me. Say bye-bye, hands. Yeah, Superman is getting dumber. Like Bizarro, right? Or something like that. So Superman uses heat vision, but, it's indestructible. And, he gets a hit from his own heat vision. So, without a hypnotic trigger to bring you back, Doomsday will overwhelm your mind. But he says, I'm not going to use this thing on Superman. He's using it on himself. And he's turning into Doomsday. I said, okay, I didn't see that coming. And, but Superman is getting, his language, his demeanor, the way he talks, the way he moves, the way he acts is different. We must fire the cannon. 30 seconds, Mr. President. Olsen has 30 seconds left before Doomsday overloads his nervous system. And he's getting more angry. And he uses, heat vision, because there's also, I don't know how it works, right? But as far as I know, Doomsday didn't have any heat vision, sort of. I missed a lot of issues after that. But Superman is afraid. He says, I'm getting weaker. I'm scared. And then something happens to him. And the hypnotic trigger is now being, it's just the Superman signal. And Superman is so weak now, he cannot do anything. And Jimmy holds his friend and shouts. But then these guys come and says, don't let anybody see him like this. You hear me? So he says, excuse me, by the way, you saved our lives because we are the producers of the Broadway Smash Frankenstein on Ice. Here are some VIP tickets for the opening night. You and Superman just saved our lives from that terrible monster. He is the terrible monster, but they didn't see it somehow. All right, so everything is back to normal. Oh, man, the best for a day ever, and I cannot tell anyone. All right, so the Black K is back in the box where it belongs. Superman says, oh man, what a nightmare. Black K Superman was everything you're not. A bully, a coward, liar. Weird thing is, the worse he acted, the weaker he became. He says, I'm sorry for everything I said. Don't take it personally. Just take it with a grain of salt, right? He says, I'm glad I can always count on my pal to think fast in a crisis. So, what's her name again? What's her name? What's her name again? Agatha. Right. She says, you used up our whole budget. He says, no, you're lying because I checked the secret project bank in Zurich. There was an infinity sign in the credit column. You can't know that. No, firewall is awesome proof. And he has a couple hours left and he wants to do with, more stuff as a director. Now, I'm not sure if I should be impressed with Jimmy Olsen because he is always portrayed as a weak side character, but, he came here as some kind of a quote-unquote badass, I must say. So I like that for a change. And then he goes to the apartment. He has still this director coat on. He says, "What happened with Rock Hansen? He was arrested for selling mind-bending Mars rock on eBay. How was your assignment? You missed Superman beating up a monster downtown." Well, so he says, "Assignment, behold the Major of Dulceville. At least I got to look through Leo Quanton's wardrobe, 365 rainbow cups, all identical." And he did this with his land 10 hours. "I love you, Lucy," and he also has the tickets to the Broadway on Ice. "Have you seen the moon? What do you think? Did my curse wear off? Jimmy Olsen, get over here." Listens to the next issue where Clark Kent visits Lex Luthor in prison. Oh man, I like this series so much. This is so cool. You know, even it feels more like a one-shot storyline, right? It's just very well and fun told. And I like that Jimmy Olsen gets a little bit of a different storyline instead of just being that guy with the watch and making photos. You know, he's becoming a little bit more of a cool guy. Don't go overboard with that, please. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, like, comment, subscribe, and all the YouTube chats. See you next time. Bye-bye.